I don't have to say shit. I don't have to say anything.
Did you shoot that gun? Where did you shoot it?
That's in the farm. I just don't know anymore.
When a crime has been committed...
Did he hit her in the face?
There could be a gun up here anywhere.
Detectives must first identify a suspect.
He's covering his face as he goes past it.
Got this girl here,
Still looking back as she walks away.
Yeah, that is bang in the middle of the crime times.
Next, they must search for rock-solid evidence.
The offenders were wearing balaclavas.
Gun is crucial, isn't it?
Yeah.
Juries are told you must be sure, but it's so difficult to hit that test.
Then they must put their case to the test, face to face with the suspect in the interview room.
You often sit in a small room, no more than 2 or 3 feet between you and the person who has raped, murdered, burgled, stolen. It's a little bit of a game, I guess. Chess, poker. You move one piece, they move another one.
Will the evidence stand or fall? Will the suspect tell the truth, or will they manage to hide it?
They will do anything, say anything. We are lied to frequently. They can muddy the waters in any way they want.
This time, detectives face a man suspected of causing a serious brain injury with a single blow.
The victim states you've approached him and for no reason you've hit him in the head. Were you intending for that to happen, for him to be knocked out?
And a man suspected of a street robbery.
The victim of that is an elderly male. You've hit him in the throat and stolen £20 that he had in his mouth.
Detectives are investigating a horrific assault. A man is in hospital with a bleed to the brain after what appears to be a completely unprovoked attack.
Norfolk Police Emergency, go ahead, caller.
I'm calling from the critical care desk about this patient who's apparently been assaulted today. He was having a seizure after sustaining one punch earlier on, had a head injury. So I'm guessing it was his friend that called, saying he was fitting, and he's got potentially life-changing injuries.
Nearly a fortnight after the attack, Detective Ryan Westrop has finally been able to talk to the victim about what happened.
The victim's account is obviously quite blurry because he spent 12 days in Addenbrooke's. And I think for the first 5 days, he was in a coma and he was constantly having seizures. He says he feels like a completely different person. He's getting upset for no real reason. In his opinion, it's completely changed his life. From a straightforward one punch, and that's what it's done to someone. And he said he was completely innocent, like, he doesn't even know who this person was. He was as an associate of the other person that ran off. He remembers someone shouting Harry, and then basically that's all he remembers. He remembers being hit. He thought he was then being kicked in the head. And the next memory he's got is waking up in hospital. Obviously you want to get a good result every time for everyone, but that's not always possible if the evidence doesn't allow it. But when someone has been impacted like this and they do support, then that drives you on to try and get them justice.
The other people present at the scene of the attack either cannot or will not identify the suspect. So Ryan must rely on other evidence.
So we're now going to the location where the victim was assaulted. I just want to plot it out myself, really, just to see if I can actually see what's gone on, because no witness is forthcoming with actual information. So now I'm just going to open the search a little bit wider and see if there's any more CCTV nearby. CCTV for a job like this is crucial. This particular area isn't quite well known for drug use and drug dealing, and often with drug use and drug dealing it sort of goes hand in hand with violent crimes. This is where it's happened. I believe the victims have come across from the alleyway straight over the road, so I'm just going to have a wander that way. It looks like suspects have come out of the pub. Pub is now closed. So victim has come out from out here and been met by the suspects who's run across from the pub. There's a camera further up the road, right near the traffic lights, which has been able to capture the whole thing, which has happened here. But yeah, essentially it's just one punch. It's harrowing to watch, in all honesty.
The CCTV footage they have so far doesn't identify a suspect. So Ryan must find another source.
Sometimes what has actually happened is blatantly obvious. It's clear what the truth is, but due to a lack of cooperation or a lack of support and evidence, we can't actually prove it. It's our job to make sure there are no holes, or as few as possible. It's for us as investigators to cross all those elements out. The devil is in the detail. But the key is linking that all together.
The Blueberry pub shut down shortly after the attack, but Ryan has obtained the interior CCTV footage. Detectives recognise a lot of faces, and there is one that stands out.
I've known Harry Beeston throughout my police career. I can quite comfortably say I recognise him. He's well known, regularly in trouble. From even when he was younger, like a child and teenager, he's always had involvement with police, involved in the drug world. I don't think he's fearful of the outcomes of what the police or the court systems can do. He just carries on as he is. 38 investigations for him. Known for his drug use. Concerning the supply, burglary dwelling, stolen goods, threats to kill. Yeah, so he's well known for a variety of offences, really.
Ryan's identification makes Harry Beeston suspect number one. But when all the different CCTV sources are compared, will they provide the evidence to prove beyond doubt that he carried out the attack?
I'm coming over to you in a minute. Have you got the footage from inside the pub to hand?
No, I'll do it for you now.
Is this about the time when it's happening?
Yeah. So this is the camera where you see Beeston. He starts having conversations with people and his associates. So that's Beeston there. So we've got him in the pub prior to the incident, which I've been able to identify him from. So if I'll show you the external cameras. Okay, so once these two lads go past this alleyway here, you'll then see our victim come out and another male run. Yeah. This guy runs. He continues chasing him. This is who I believe to be Beeston.
Whoa.
Punches him once, walks off. This lad comes into shot.
That's Beeston picking him up.
Beeston's picking him up. As you can see, he's completely out of it.
Trying to drag him to his feet.
Yeah, they try and get him up. But you can see from his legs, he's completely still out cold. Yeah. But now he starts to come round and starts moving. They're like happy that he's not dead, basically. So this is going to be after the incident, and you have the people start coming back in. As you can see, he's got the motif on his top there. Yeah. Grabs his jacket. Couldn't necessarily get a clear facial recognition. The clothing, the build, I can comfortably say that is that person with the Times marrying up the actions where he comes back in the pub, goes out to and from.
Well, there's no one else that even remotely fits that description.
Physically fits that description.
So we still don't know why he did that.
No, and from speaking to the victim, he's literally said, "I've no issue with him. I didn't even know who he was." And
They go over to him, don't they?
The other chap runs because we think he's got the issue.
Yeah, because they didn't even go for our victim, did they?
No.
And Beeston turns around and goes, bang. You see him even sort of lift his hand up and go...
Yeah, right. And that's that.
There's no need for it, is there?
No, it's completely unprovoked. So
the plan is to get Beeston.
I can pick him up and interview him on response this evening. And
we need his phone as well, because there's a high likelihood he's probably texting people about it as well. So if we can get his phone, that'd be good.
He's got a girlfriend's address, a nan's address and a mum's address.
Fingers crossed he's in tomorrow then.
Harry Beeston may be suspect number one. But first, the police need to find him.
Do you think we're going to need a taser?
He has been tasered before. Yeah. The electric gun usually stops people in their tracks.
Now, detectives want to put Beeston under arrest. They'll target the homes of associates and family.
A couple of officers made me aware that they've had to call code zeros when trying to arrest him, which is sort of officer in danger. So I think he's certainly got the capability of being a bit of a handful if he wants to be.
And I've seen the CCTV. He looks like he throws a very good right hook.
The detectives suspect Beeston could be close, hiding out inside one of the addresses.
Is there any chance we could just pop in just to have a look, make sure he's not here?
There's probably a wall he could hop over, but...
But they can't force entry unless they have firm evidence that he's inside.
She said no, he's not there. But...
There's not enough to believe he's here.
Once every address has been tried, Harry Beeston will know he's wanted. That may make him much harder to catch. A report has come in of another attack by a stranger in the street. This time, a 71-year-old pensioner says he's been robbed.
If it's Norfolk Police.
I just now went in West Earlham Bookmakers, and as I walked up, there was a chap came out and got on this green racing bike.
Right.
I put a £20 note in my mouth, and as he come past me, he chopped me in the neck and whipped the £20 note out of my mouth.
So when you say chopped you in the neck, what do you
Well,
mean?
you know, like a karate chop.
This has been reported as a robbery. We take it very seriously. It's not a big sum of money, but nevertheless, a robbery is a nasty offence.
He come up to me, and he sort of went like that, and then like that, and took the £20 note out of my mouth. He chopped me, and then took the...
Okay, so he's made contact with you with his
Definitely.
vesting. Right, okay. Would you be okay to come back to the station so we can grab a quick statement from you?
Yeah.
According to the best of your memory, what time did this happen?
That happened, I can tell you, I left my mother-in-law's at roughly 5:30.
Okay, and you know that because you left...
Well, I go to my mother-in-law's every night at 5 o'clock, look after her, give her a medicine, make her a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I've done that for 2 years and more. And if I'm 5 minutes late, she create like end.
How hard did he hit you, Reginald?
Hard enough to actually, because he hit me right on the Adam's apple.
Yeah.
And I can still actually feel it now. I still feel a bit shaking, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And I'm a very nervous person anyway, I hasten to add. I've always suffered with my nerves. I mean, I'm at an age, you know, where something like that can kill you, can't it? You can have a heart attack or something like that.
Yeah. Describe the person that robbed you.
Well, he was black to start with, and I would put him down as about 5'8".
Yeah.
And he was like slim, I'd say slim. He wasn't stocky or anything like that.
Okay. Did you see his hair at all?
No. He had a baseball cap on.
Excellent. Did you see anything that would make you remember him, like any marks, scars, tattoos, earrings, piercings?
No.
No. Fantastic.
The detectives have a CCTV image of a customer who was in the betting shop just before the incident on the pavement outside.
Do you want to come and take a look at this image? So this has come from Bedford.
Does that fit with the description?
Yeah, well, he said blue baseball cap with a small rim.
A draw through the images.
Yeah.
Once again, the detectives recognise the suspect's face, but this time, the name is harder to pin down.
I reckon it was about 3 years ago. A load of lads dealing some drugs. I think it was Charles Square, and it all kicked off and went very wrong. And that fella looks very much like one of them. I can't say for sure. One of those males looked very similar to that geezer there. He's an IC3 male, 5'8". He refused all details to me. It's really frustrating.
Dave Block will circulate the image in the hope that someone within the force can identify the suspect. The police have been continuing their search for Harry Beeston, suspect number 1 in the One Punch case. After several attempts to arrest him, the fear is he's gone into hiding. Then, there is an unexpected communication from Beeston himself.
Harry is actually called into police, saying that he's aware that we've been trying to get hold of him via his nan, girlfriend and mum, and he wants to know why, essentially. The pressure has started to work. He knows he's wanted for this. I'm confident he knows that.
Beeston agrees to be interviewed on a voluntary basis. That gives him an advantage, as there is no power to seize evidence from him, and he can walk out of the interview whenever he wants. So the detectives need to play their cards just right.
We do have to consider our tactics and we do have to consider our moves. You could use the analogy of a poker game. You've got the cards in your hand, and it's up to us when we play those cards.
Detective Ryan Westrop will face Harry Beeston in the interview room.
I'm not going to initially disclose the fact that we've got the incident captured on CCTV to see what he says. He may then say, well, I was in the area, but it wasn't me. And then if I show him the CCTV, what's in the pub, and he says, well, yeah, that's me. That will then lead on to when I then show him the other CCTV and say, well, you've identified that person as being yourself. And that person has then done that. What have you got to say about that? Yeah, it's Ryan from CID. Yeah. You alright? Yeah, good time.
But Harry Beeston could just refuse to say anything and make it as hard as he can for the detectives to prove it was him who threw the punch.
Okay. So the reason you're here is you're being interviewed in relation to an allegation of a GBH. Now, is there anything at this stage you'll tell me about this allegation?
No comment.
Okay. Were you at the Blueberry pub around those times?
Comment.
Do you go to that location very often?
Comment.
Tell me what's happened then that night.
No comment.
The victim states you've approached him and for no reason you've hit him in the head.
No comment.
Were you in fear from him?
No comment.
Were you acting in self-defense?
No comment.
What was your intention when you hit him?
No comment.
Okay, so we've got some CCTV from the Blueberry pub, which shows you inside a few minutes before the incident has actually occurred. I'll just show you those, if I may. So we've got this, we're saying is you. Is that you?
No comment.
Okay. Do you know who that person is?
No comment.
I'll show you the CCTV. So essentially, you see these two chaps. Once they go around this corner, two people come out, okay? So here come the two people, one of which is the victim. Here come the two males, one of which we believe is you. So this one runs off. This is who we believe is you. This is our victim. Can you tell me about that, Harry?
No comment.
Look, it looks like you're trying to make things better. Looks like you're trying to help him. Is that what you're trying to do, Harry?
No comment.
What are you thinking when this is happening?
No comment.
Now you watch him try and get up. Obviously you've chosen to go no comment. That's 100% your right. It's what you've been advised to do, and I appreciate that. If you want me to go over for anything else, I certainly will. I know if this is alleged against me, I would probably be saying why I've done that or why I've not done it. If it's not you, tell me why it's not you. We've got it wrong. That would be my thing.
No comment.
No comment, eh?
How do you look though when you showed him CCTV?
Well, he didn't like watching it, but he kept himself relatively expression free. But yeah, he didn't like watching it.
If you get a no comment interview, the feeling is, well, that you're hiding something. If you've done nothing wrong, just tell us where you were, who you're with, and we'll prove you weren't responsible for this crime and you can get on with your daily life. If they don't tell us that, they haven't done it. They remain under suspicion until we prove otherwise.
Now it's up to the detectives to find evidence that proves beyond doubt that Harry Beeston is the guilty man. Detectives have been trying to identify a suspect for an alleged street robbery carried out against a 71-year-old man. And now there's a breakthrough.
An officer has come back and said, I think I recognise this chap from his custody mugshot, and she was able to provide a partial name, which I've then researched on the system, and we've got a name for him.
This man is now suspect number one, and the detectives think they know where to find him.
So he's got warning markers that he's violent, he escapes.
Yeah, the chap we're trying to arrest is quite an unpredictable individual. Potential to be quite violent.
He's a black male, about 5'8", 5'9", medium build. He's got fairly sort of small afro.
Hello, police, anyone in?
There's intel as recent as December that puts him here in the press.
Hello, blimey. I'll slide you the door, you do the front.
There appears to be no sign of the suspect.
Hello mate, I think it's going to be a stand down very, very shortly, and he ain't there. But I'm just waiting for confirmation of that.
Suddenly, there is movement at the front of the house.
Quebec White Football got a runner towards Earlham Green Lane. I don't know, I lost him. There's going to be some around here. It's going to be in the area of Earlham Grove. I think it's probably going to be garden hopping, somewhere in the area of Earlham Grove. I see 3, 5'10", blue top, potentially with big hair.
Just taking the piss, isn't he, to be fair? He's a flight risk, he's a massive flight risk, isn't he? He's done a runner from you today, successfully. Got one.
The suspect escaped this time, but the detectives at least now know where he can be found, and they will be back. Harry Beeston has refused to admit he was responsible for the one-punch assault. The victim, who is still struggling to recover from brain injury, must endure further uncertainty while the police build their case against Beeston.
How you doing? You all right? DC Westrock. Managed to interview him and he's got no comment to everything. He's allowed to do that. However, obviously, we've still got your clothes for forensics, so there is potential for us to be able to submit them for forensics. This will be the last bit. All right, how are you feeling in general? Have you been back to your doctors then? What have they sort of said? Alright, take care, mate. Bye. Still got headaches every day. Wakes up feeling groggy. It's not like he knows who's done it and he knows why it's been done. It's a complete random attack in his mind. So he's like, everyone that walks past, I think, could they just assault me, sort of thing. And it's horrible, bless him.
Ryan still has no witnesses willing to talk. He needs more evidence to rely on, apart from his own identification of Beeston from the pub footage.
If your court decided that they didn't believe me, if we can prove that his DNA is on that victim, that adds a lot of weight. And it essentially takes my ID as just being additional evidence, whereas the DNA will be then the strongest evidence rather than my identification.
Only the CSI team can judge if there's a chance of getting a forensic link to Harry Beeston.
So the reason we want the forensics is because in the interview he's now said nothing, he's got no comment to everything, he's been shown this, decided not to put himself at the scene or anything. We've got the jumper of the victim, and then as you can see the reason we want it is for DNA.
Yeah, the suspect's got no comment, and as far as we know they've had no previous...
Yeah, he says he doesn't know him.
So his DNA shouldn't be on.
He's got no reason for it to be on there.
After seeing that, I would submit it, get the lab to concentrate on shoulders, but further on from that, he's also pulling on his right sleeve quite a lot. So to sort of concentrate on there.
The victim's jumper will be submitted for tests, just in case Harry Beeston did leave a trace. One day after the robbery suspect did a runner, the detectives are back on his trail.
Yeah, Steve, we'll make towards the area. Robbery of a gentleman, and the suspect ran from the address yesterday.
This time, they're going prepared.
Yeah, he didn't show any violence yesterday. He just ran from the address. So there was no resistance. It was just running.
Luke, again, if you guys can cover the back, we've got authority to continue.
That one there, red door. Can you get around the back of the shop, do you think? There's an entrance at the back of the shop. Is it alright if you split up? So one of you stay, try and get over that way and one go that way? If he's going to leg it, he'll leg it down that back way, so. Right, someone stay at the front. Stay at the gate, stay at the gate. I can hear shouting inside.
If the detectives have good reason to believe the suspect is inside, this time they would have the right to force entry.
I think he's in there. We need to speak to you about a robbery.
Open the window. We've seen him at the window at the top, at the back. So he's in there.
He's upstairs, we've seen him.
Who are you
Open the
talking
window.
about?
So you've got two options. You've got two options. We come in with force, or you comply with us. For the sake of your children.
If you don't come out now, we're going to knock your door in.
Chris, I think he's coming out the front.
We're not going to hurt you.
Yeah, we're not going to hurt you.
We're not going to hurt you. Come on then.
Right, thanks. Nothing, let's go. I'm arresting the sister, Robbie.
So you don't have to say anything that may harm your defence.
Yeah,
You're
let's
not
go,
meant
let's
to any
go.
questions
Yeah,
before anything somebody then.
Alright, cool.
Get used to the car, come on. I'll keep hold you because you ran last time.
Yeah, I'm a good runner,
Yeah, I know,
Your
yeah.
friend got left.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There we go.
Pop yourself in.
Don't put my hat on.
Right, we just need to make sure you've definitely got nothing on you, right?
Nothing.
Sure?
On.
Nothing
Let's
inside.
go, man. Stop being like silly, man. Let's go. Stop being silly, my fucking head.
Right. Quebec 90.
Quebec 90, go ahead.
Successful conclusion, one under arrest en route to the pick.
The detectives must soon confront the suspect in the interview room. But they still lack a crucial piece of evidence.
Is there enough? We can put him in the shop, we can put him in the area potentially, but can we link him to actually being the one who actually done the robbery?
See what we've got. We need to get the CCTV.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what he said. He may admit being in the shop but denying the robbery. So we need that footage.
Whether or not the footage clearly shows the karate chop described by the victim could alter the course of the whole case.
Okay, so here's going to be potentially the suspect. What it appears like, you can see his arm raise up. Obviously, you can't quite capture what's actually happened.
Did you see him go for the choke of that?
No. You see his arm go up like that.
And take it.
You don't see him.
Only one action.
Yeah, you don't physically see him strike his neck, but you see his arm leave the handlebar and go
One
up.
action and off.
Yeah, you can see his arm raise up. Obviously, you can't quite capture what's actually happened, but you immediately see the victim turn and look at him in that direction, and it stops him in his tracks.
Unlike the one-punch case, the contact between the suspect and the victim happens just off-screen. So if the suspect claims he didn't use force, or even that he didn't steal the money, it will be much harder for the detectives to prove their case.
Let's go interview matey boy.
There are two sides to every story. We've obviously heard our victims, and we've seen on CCTV it does look like the guy we've got in custody is the chap that's gone and done it. But he may have a perfectly logical reason for doing that. Like, he may know this guy, the guy owes him some money, and he thought, well, like, I'll sit it, I'll take it out of his mouth, but he owes it to me.
Yeah, loads of reasons. Honestly, he threatened me first, and I was concerned for my own welfare. So I committed a preemptive strike, and the £20 there was for the taking, and I took what was rightfully mine back. You know, the world's your oysters with excuses, but it's up to us to prove or disprove those.
If convicted of a minor theft, the suspect might face just a community sentence. If convicted of robbery, using violence, he could face a serious jail time.
Okay, so this interview has been visually recorded and may be given evidence if the case went to trial. Because I'm going to ask you some questions about a criminal offence, I have to caution you. So you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely in court. Anything you do say can be given in evidence. In essence, what that means is you haven't got to say anything if you don't want to.
No, I want to.
Okay. Anything you do say can be given in evidence. So if it were to go to court, they can be told what you said today. Obviously, everything's been recorded, and they can listen to a copy of this. So you've been arrested on suspicion of a robbery, which is alleged to have occurred around 5:30, so 5:30 in the evening on Tuesday, the 25th of June, 2019.
I can't wait to tell my family this joke, bro. They're gonna laugh at me. £20 a minute in there for me.
And the robbery is alleged to have happened outside Betfred Bookmakers on the West Earlham Centre parade of shops. And it's alleged that the victim of that is an elderly male. You've hit him in the throat and stolen £20 that he had in his mouth. Now, is there anything at this stage you wish to tell us
I
about
want
this?
to tell you, well, I got some money, right? I went to the cash point first, took some money out, went to the bookies. Went in Bedford, played. I lost 200 and something pound, so call it nearly 300 pound, right? Angry at my head, I come up with my back, I push my bike outside, I jumped on my bike. Same time I jumped on my bike, I see some guy walking up this way. He had a 20 pound note in his hand, mouth like this. So I rode on my bike, and just rode off. That is all I've done, and that's all I've got to say in this interview. And I was wrong for taking the guy's £20 out of his mouth, and I'm so stupid, and when my family hear about this, they're gonna laugh at me. That's all I've got to say. Yes, I did. But why would I need to hit somebody and need to do... No, come on, man. Stop putting more stuff on me, man. Don't frame me. I'm not a framer.
No.
I'm not a framer. I'm a guy...
I'm not trying to frame
you. No, not you. You're doing your job. He's doing his job. You're doing your job. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
I'm not a joker, man. I do with bigger crimes than that. That crime is too small to be putting on me. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you, boss? I left crime alone. I'm doing better. I'm working, and that's all I'm doing. Okay. You know what I'm saying to you, boss? I did take the guy's 20 out of his mouth. That's all I got to say.
Okay. So he said you caught him in the throat like that and then took his money. You're saying you've simply ridden past him and grabbed
How would you got cameras. There's cameras there because you have to go and rewind that camera. Well, how can you ride at that speed and do so much stuff in so much stuff? And I'm riding a racer bike. It's not a normal bicycle, it's a racer.
Okay. Well, I just have to clarify because he's obviously said he has been struck in the throat. That's all.
Yeah, no problem, yeah.
Why did you do it then?
I lost my money in the bookies.
Okay.
I felt like I was angry. Not angry with anything. I just rolled out the bookie thing. I need to go and buy some food, and I just went and done it there. I'm really sorry for even taking his £20 out of his mouth. I shouldn't. I lowered my standard. I get £1,800 every single month for my pay, so taking £20 is soft. I just saw the guy with his £20 in his mouth, easy opportunities, and I just took the £20, and I'm very sorry about that. If I have to pay £200 to him or £300, I would do, but I'm very sorry, and I didn't have to touch no one to get the £20, so that's what I've got to say.
Fair enough. Is there anything you want to ask or clarify?
Well, all I can say, I'm really sorry though, man, to took his £20 out of his mouth. But I'm really sorry though.
The detectives now have a dilemma. The victim says violent force was used. But did the suspect really intend just to snatch his money?
For something as serious as a robbery, it's really rare that someone fully admits an offence when we interview them. What's not in doubt in this case is the theft. We know that he has taken this £20 from this elderly gentleman. He is denying the fourth element, which is required to prove the robbery. He's denying that absolutely. He could be doing that because he's been really clever. Or we have to consider the possibility that he's telling the truth.
The CCTV shows the victim off camera. Have you got it?
I'll show you this. I've got it on the tablet.
Oh, come on.
In an interview, I said, is there any chance you could have brushed his face when you did it? He said, no, categorically. I grabbed the note and cycled. I didn't touch him.
That's an argument. However, the CCTV doesn't. We don't see that on the CCTV.
Well, the victim's quite clearly said that he struck him in the throat and took the money. Well, yeah, we've got to weigh up who's going to lie. Is the guy going to lie and sort of minimise his robbery to a theft?
He's already admitted he's done great things.
Yeah, or is the old boy going to lie who's had his money stolen and is good character?
The detectives will put forward all the evidence for and against the suspect, then leave it to the Crown Prosecution Service to decide what charges he should face. The betting shop victim at least was uninjured, but in Harry Beeston's case, the consequences of a single blow could be far more serious, and Beeston could face a long stretch in jail if the evidence against him is strong enough. The detectives do have new evidence. An eyewitness is now willing to state that he saw Beeston at the scene of the assault. Ryan has also been waiting for DNA results on the victim's clothing.
The forensic report is back from the lab. They've tested, I think, 5 different locations on that item, all of which have come back being that Beeston's DNA isn't present on the locations. Given how he's been identified from the CCTV, I was a little bit surprised. It says he can be excluded as a DNA contributor.
The detectives must now decide whether the evidence against Harry Beeston is enough.
Forensics, yeah, they come back as a negative result for Beeston. Yeah, I would have thought that it may have had something on there, just given the fact on the CCTV you can see there was quite a lot of contact. But the jumper was recovered from the address the victim went back to, not from him at hospital. So people may have picked that jumper up at the address, moved that jumper prior to giving it to police.
Ideally, the forensics would have been key, but they wouldn't have. It doesn't sort of stop the case from going ahead.
No.
Because ultimately, like I said, the CCTV is great, and Beeston's no commented. So he hasn't given any excuse.
No, nothing like that at all.
It's strong enough to go.
It all depends on how it goes at court, but I would imagine he would get a custodial sentence for it rather than anything else, given the impact it has had on the victim. This victim could well have died. You have to take responsibility of what you've done. I very much doubt he did intend to cause that level of injury. If he did, he would have kept hitting him. He's not done that. He's punched him once and he's gone to the floor. So I don't think his intention was to ever cause that much harm, but he has.